tell them, this is from ChatGPT. I just give it to them. And I tell them, how do you like the writing? To my surprise, they're going to criticize the writing and say, this could be better, this could be better. I don't understand this. You got that? Good. So there's the human brain. Yeah. It helps us, yes, but we do not depend and rely on it 100% because we still have that superior ability. Okay. Okay. So I went to Google and this is what I did. I Googled differences between American and British English. And this is what I got. It was still a very big topic, yeah. Differences between American and British English. So can you see this? Oops. Okay. Can you see that? All right. Just want to know the big picture. Don't go into reading something in details. It's going to confuse you. You want to get the big picture. You want to get, as I usually say, the elephant. You want to see the elephant first. Then you will decide, am I going to talk about the head of the elephant? Am I going to talk about the tail? Am I going to talk about the feet, the trunk only, or the body? Many of you asked in the first session, how do we write a thesis statement? Remember that the thesis statement is always specific, yeah? Now, how do you make something this big specific? This is what we narrow down. Kita kecilkan gitu loh. Alright? Unless, of course, your professor is very specific dengan mengatakan linguistic aspect atau mengatakan the impact to communication, the impact of like the cultural impact, okay, on native speakers, hmm, caused by British English and American English. Unless the topic is already specific, then you can again look at the big picture, right, and see which subheading does your topic belong to. So look at this. Differences between British and American English. This is just one, yeah, out of again thousands. Nah, ChatGPT itu kerjaannya screen all this. You get that? And then they're able to say, bang, this is what I got from the millions of. That's what it does. Itu loh. So we don't have to Google sana, Google sini. You know how long it takes for you to Google? It's already a whole day sometimes because you go here, you go there, you go here, you go there, right? Now, sometimes the artificial intelligence will help you get intisarinya, yeah? That's the whole idea. Now, let's say you got this. Ini masih Google, all right? And then you got this. Can you see this? Ini the big picture, yeah? This is the big picture, okay? All right. So, itu ada di situ. The letter I is clearly pronounced. The letter R not pronounced at the end of a word. Itu ada R written differently. Can you see that? Tadi what you said, right? Are written differently. The British use color itu benar nggak? Sebetulnya harus pakai U, color gitu kan ya, color. And then you have the American use COLOR. So from this big, then you need to narrow it down. Kan gitu kan? You need to narrow it down. How do you narrow it down? So I'm going to go back again to my slide. Hold on. All right. How do you narrow it down? is simply here. Then you narrow it down by deciding, okay, by deciding I'm just going to talk about the linguistic aspect. Okay? I'm just going to talk about the different aspect that I'm familiar with, that I know. All right. Okay. So we have vocabulary, pronunciation, and spelling. What do we do with this? If you're making a paragraph dulu ya. If you're making a paragraph, then you need to make the topic or the main idea sentence of the paragraph. Agree? Which answers the question, what linguistic aspects are different? The answer is your main idea or topic sentence of that paragraph. Paragraph, yeah? Okay. And then, of course, then it will be followed by other sentences because this is a paragraph, right? By other sentences talking about the differences in vocabulary yang menjawab, yang menceritakan supporting what we call is supporting details. Katanya ada perbedaan the uh, between the vocabulary used in American English and in British English, right? Perbedaan apa? You've got to put it here in the supporting details. All right? You said there is also a difference in the way that words are pronounced by Americans and by British. Kayak apa sih bedanya? You put it here in the sentences there. That's what we call the supporting details. And of course, the same goes for when we talk about spelling. So what happened is, it looks like this. You get that? The topic or the main idea, okay, sentence of the paragraph may look like this. British English and American English, state dulu dong kalau dia berbeda. Alright. British English and American English are two distinct variations of the English language. Okay? Apanya yang various, yang varied? One noticeable difference lies in vocabulary. Sentence. Kalau tadi kan masih outline. You're just thinking of words, words, words. Now you have to turn all that into a sentence. Okay? Pronunciation is also, pronunciation also sets these two versions. Version apa we're talking about? American and British English apart. Membedakan. Okay, apart. Then you want to make a sentence about the difference in spelling, right? Your sentence can be something like this. Another divergence is in spelling. Why am I using all these words? Look at these words carefully. Okay. Look at the words that I use now. Vocab. Why am I using noticeable? Sebetulnya bisa aja kan? One difference lies in vocab. Is that yes or no? The same meaning or yeah? But again, you want to show, kan maksudnya gitu kan? You want to show that you know a wide range of vocab. Di situ bedanya. Gak salah if you say one difference is in vocab. Itu nggak salah. Tetapi yang membaca will see you as a basic English competent writer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh ini anak bisa nulis nggak ada salahnya, grammatically correct, ya kan? Vocabnya juga benar, but the reader will say, oh ini masih basic kemampuannya. Do you see that? Ya, karena saya nanti di sesi keempat saya akan kasih apa sih yang dicari sama IELTS rater itu kalau writing? Apa yang dicari sama IBT rater TOEFL yang kalau writing? Mereka carinya because they need to measure your ability in English loh. Your English level itu sampai di mana? Masih basic-basic aja atau sudah intermediate atau sudah advance. Misalnya, sekarang udah jarang ya we use that. Actually we're using the B1, C1, C2 level dari the Common European Framework. Gitu, okay? You see? Right? Supaya your sentence gives more added value gitu deh. Tadi one difference is in vocab itu harganya 10.000 kalau dinilai. Alright? But if you make a sentence like this, one noticeable, pakai noticeable, ting. Okay? And then, I don't want to say is, I want to say lies in vocab. Ini harganya naik loh sentence ini. It's not 10,000 rupiah anymore. You get it? Itu kelihatan. Oh ya saya beli deh ini 50.000 lah. You see the difference? Alright? Think of it that way. Okay? That's about sentences. Now, ini lagi. Pronunciation also sets these two version. Dia pakai lagi tuh version. Instead of, bisa dia pakai variance. Kan sebetulnya the two variants apart. Apart itu membedakan. Ya. This is also a this is also like intermediate, a high intermediate vocab. Anak-anak yang sudah bahasa Inggrisnya ada di intermediate level, high intermediate, will be able to use this vocab. Okay? Now you see the difference? Ya. Okay? Ya. And then, nah ini lebih seru lagi tiba-tiba keluar dia. Another divergence. Sebetulnya apa sih? Kalau anak basic akan bilang apa di sini? Another? What are we talking about? Differences, right? Iya, jadi kalau anak basic dia taruh aja dong. Another difference. Got it? But because you are advanced, because you are higher intermediate, you will be able to use another word. Okay? Which is divergence. This is already very high level. Ya. But when the reader see this, mereka tahu, your professor knows, ini udah high level. This is a high level English writing. You see what I'm getting at? Alright, harganya beda. Rating dia akan beda. Okay, now, yeah, because I think I read the rationale that at America marketingnya ini kan bagaimana supaya lebih keren kan gitu kan nulisnya. Ya ini bermainlah dengan vocab. Gitu loh. Where do you get the vocab? Lah terus gimana Bu cari vocabnya? Read. The more you read, the more vocabulary you will get. Mau tidak mau. Okay? Okay. So, but I hope you see the idea. Nah, is this a paragraph? Is this all? No, because we are just stating only idea. Gitu kan? We need the details. Now we need supporting sentences to talk about the one noticeable difference in vocab. I'm going to ask you to read. Okay, this is a paragraph. Ini paragraphnya di kayak gini nih. Ya, this is the paragraph that started from an outline. All right, and then after the outline, the ideas are put into words, into sentences, and then it is developed. It is further developed. All the sentences that's here are used from the ones that you read before. Remember the topic, the main idea sentence was British English and British and American English are two distinct variations. Remember that? Okay. One noticeable difference lies in vocab. Then you need to back it up. For example, Americans commonly use the word elevator, while the British use lift. Similarly, Americans refer to a truck, whereas the British use the term lorry. Okay? Now you got it? Example. Second, second idea sentence. Pronunciation also sets these two versions apart. Give example. American English tends to have a more rhotic accent. Pronouncing the R sounds like car. Gitu kan? Car. You have the R sound. R sound. Car. Yeah. In contrast, British English speakers often drop or soften the R sound. You drop or soften. That means you don't hear R, the R. So it's like ka when it's at the end of the word. Not car, but it's ka. Okay? Another divergence is in spelling. We agreed. British English employs the letter U in words like color or honor, whereas American English omits the U and uses color and honor. While these distinctions may exist, speakers of both versions can generally understand each other with ease. Ditutup. Okay? Dibuka, dijelaskan, dia tutup. Okay, I'm going to ask you now to read it again. Read it again. See the structure. See how we develop our thoughts into sentences, okay? Into a paragraph. Now we're going to talk about, now I'm going to remind you that an essay, just like a paragraph, gitu kan ya. Ini saya kasih contoh yang gampang dulu, a paragraph has unity, sorry, and coherence, just as a paragraph does. Transition signals and the repetition of key nouns link the paragraphs into a cohesive whole. Oke, kalau di dalam paragraf berarti juga harus ada yang diulang gitu loh, repetition. So that we know we are still talking about distinct variation. Can you see that? Ini vocab lagi nih urusannya. Distinct, gitu ya, variation. Distinct itu apa sih? Spesifik. Oke. Nah, kan dia udah ngomong are two distinct variation. One difference, dia udah mulai pakai. Sebetulnya yang dia maksud one variation, right? Ya enggak? Kan tadi dia bilang two variations, right? And now they want to say, the writer wants to say one variation is vocab. Kan gitu, mau bilang gitu. Tapi dibuat intermediate level. Dibuat advanced level. Pakailah kata-kata yang lebih cantik. Oke. Okay. One noticeable difference. Berarti ini perbedaan yang sangat kelihatan gitu loh. Kita semua lihat karena itu terlihat. Not just kalau pronunciation, sometimes you hear it, sometimes you don't. But when it's a word, you read it, right? It's noticeable. Difference kan sebetulnya sama dengan variation, right? Okay. Lies in vocab. Itu kan? Oke, jadi ini diulang ya. Oh, distinct yang variation yang pertama. And then you give the example. Elevator versus lift. Okay? Truck versus elevator versus lift. And then we have truck versus lorry. And then pronunciation also sets these two versions. Lihat. Ini variations. Di sini difference. Di sini version. It's the same. This is what we mean by repetition. Can you see the box down there? Transitional signals and the repetition. The idea is how do we make the repetition not boring gitu loh. Kan kamu juga capek ya ngomong bolak-balik. Misalnya noticeable variation. Terus di sini apa ya? Ya udah, pronunciation also sets these two variation. You get the idea? Terus another variation. You see that? You should be tired because you're using the same thing. Yang baca apalagi gitu. Nih anak nggak tahu kata-kata lain selain variation. This is the difference between bahasa Indonesia and English. In bahasa Indonesia saya nggak tahu perbedaan, apalagi sinonimnya perbedaan. Can you tell me? Perbedaan apa sih sinonimnya? May? Can anyone tell me? Education USA. Tahu nggak May? Can you think? Come on guys, can you think of a synonym untuk perbedaan dalam bahasa Indonesia? Harus lihat di kamus besar bahasa Indonesia ya kayaknya. It's not like you get it, ya. Dalam bahasa Inggris different. Various. You get the idea. What's the difference? In English, words are more rich. You get that? Kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia tuh kenapa kita jadi muter-muter gitu ngomongnya karena perbedaan, perbedaan lagi. Ya mau ngomong apa lagi? Perbedaan. You get it? Very limited. Nah, kalian harus berubah pikirannya, change your mindset. In English, there are words, synonyms. Ya, jadi jangan settle gitu bahagia dengan different. Ya udah different. No, there are other things. You should check. That's where your Google, okay, that's where your Google comes in. Carinya di Google juga harus tepat ya supaya nggak seharian gitu nyari apa namanya cari sinonim. Alright, okay, is that clear? Now, gitu. Okay, so these are the words that I apa namanya that I underline in green. British English employs. Sebetulnya apa sih? Coba deh. Employs itu kalau mau diganti yang gampang gitu loh. What can you say? What word? Here, come on, come on, come on. Hah? Uses. Iya. Tapi jadi lebih akademis. Do you get what I'm saying? Ya. You show people, hey, I know words. I'm not a basic, I'm an intermediate, I'm an advanced. I can use the word employ. Get the idea? Now the question. Sebelum cari di mana. Karena kita lagi bicara juga tadi repetition. Repetition, but the repetition is of course paraphrase. Paraphrase itu berarti diparafrase. Diberikan sinonimnya. Gak bolak-balik itu aja dipakai. In English that is very very possible. Ya, oke. Now, the second is tadi kan katanya di sini the repetition of key nouns. Jelas ya? Tadi ada the repetition of key nouns. And then transitional signals. This is what we call transitional marker. Example number one is, for example, in contrast. Berarti you know. Sekarang saya mau bicara kebalikannya, the opposite. So I put the transitional marker in contrast. Itu transisi. Orang lagi ngomong begini, dirubah dia. Kita mau belok nih. Okay, in contrast. And then what's the other one? Can anyone spot? Is there any other? Transisi bahwa first kan kita biasanya dari zaman bahla itu first, second, third gitu. Nah sekarang dia nggak pakai first, second, third gitu. Dia pakai one, difference, and then also, do you see that? And then another. So actually the word another also gives transition. Because when you say another, when you write another, it means you're talking about something additional, something else in addition to. Okay? Right? All right. So this is what we call transitional markers. Now, kita dapat dari mana ini? Have you heard of a thesaurus? You've heard of a dinosaur? Ya kan? Ada thesaurus itu kadang-kadang people know it as like an ancient, animal, yeah. But thesaurus here, okay. So when you use your dictionary, okay, I pulled this out from the dictionary that I use in my laptop, right? I think it's a Merriam-Webster. I don't know. It comes with the apps. Anyway, so you have dictionary, which gives you the meaning. You have thesaurus, which gives you the synonym. All right. Okay. Now, you want to go to Wikipedia? Go ahead. Because I'm using an Apple, so that means you want to go to an Apple dictionary, go ahead. Anyway, then you just write difference. Gitu kan? Tapi nggak usah di dictionary-nya dong, kan you know what difference mean. So you just go to the thesaurus, right? And there, lihat deh, ini aja ada 3. There are 3 things. When the difference means there is no difference between the 2 accounts. The first one. There is no difference between the 2 accounts. This is a noun. Dalam konteks ini. Difference can also be used in another context. Number 2, the couple are patching up their differences. Okay. Number 3, dalam konteks perbedaan, dalam konteks you pay a reduced amount and the bank makes up the difference. Beda loh. But the word difference can be used in these 3 contexts. Ya. Nah, sometimes when you already know, oh, jadi aku ke thesaurus. Oke. Terus ke thesaurus itu main plak, 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 ambil. No. You need to know the context. Ini konteks yang mana? Dari difference, when we say the difference between British English and American English. Which context is the word difference here? Which context is the word difference here relevant to which context? Context number 1, context number 2, or context number 3? Can anyone tell me? Context number 1, the difference between British English and American English. Konteksnya yang mana? Yang 1, yang 2, atau yang 3? Lihat contohnya. There is no difference between the 2 accounts. Nomor 2, konteksnya. The couple are patching up their differences. You know what couple means? Pasangan, gitu ya. They're patching up their differences. Nomor 3, you pay a reduced amount and the bank makes up the difference. Sekarang kalau kita bicara mengenai the difference between British English and American English, which context is suitable, yang relevan dengan itu? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Number 1. Ya. Nomor 3 itu kan kalau kita bayar, right? Tapi ada difference. Nah itu, difference itu ada sisanya, perbedaan dalam hal amount. You get the idea? Nanti kamu bayar ya, kekurangannya. Nah di sini tuh kita bisa ngomong the bank makes up the difference. You get the idea? Okay. In bahasa Indonesia jadi kekurangan. In English tetap different, but used in different context. Now, okay. So if you decided that the difference in this context is the same as the difference in context number 1, berarti if you want to change difference, gitu kan? You can use any of the words di sini. Ya. Jadi yang relevan itu untuk dipakai adalah beberapa, mungkin nggak semua, tapi beberapa di sini. Kelompoknya dulu benar. So, remember you saw the word variance? Kan dipakai kan tadi ada variation, ada variance. You see this one? Divergence, ya. Nah, if you want to make sure, ini bisa nggak sih di konteks ini? You make your sentence using the word divergence. Tadi udah diganti dengan divergence. Masukin ke your dictionary. You understand? Put it in your Grammarly. Tanya si AI. Masukin tuh ke chat GPT. Is this sentence correct? Dijawab ntar. Correct. You get the idea? Okay. Ya? Oke. Thesaurus. But of course, this is short. Ini short fix. The better thing is that you read a lot. Nah, kalau tadi kita cari ide untuk the different vocabulary where is in the thesaurus. Now, what about, it says here, transitional signals. Where do we find transitional signals? Yaitu gampang kok, ada berjuta-juta in your Google. Ya, cari aja transitional signals. Then you have something like this. Oke. Ini satu di antara jutaan. So just select the one that you need. The one that fits you. But it has the meaning. It also has the meaning. When you want to state contrast, kan namanya transisi, right? Di kalimat berikutnya adalah lawan dari apa yang saya bicarakan, saya tulis sebelumnya. So you're going to use something, you're going to use a word, a transitional marker that shows contrast. My next sentence, kalimat saya berikutnya adalah untuk meyakinkan sekali lagi apa yang sudah saya katakan di kalimat sebelumnya. So you're going to start that sentence with a transitional marker for persuasion. Kalimat saya yang sekarang memberikan contoh, mendeskripsikan, mengelaborasi apa yang sudah saya nyatakan pada kalimat sebelumnya. So you make the transition for illustration. And you can use, for example, such as, for instance, in other words, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Cause and effect, comparison saya nggak ambil semua ya. This is just a screenshot. But you can, of course, find it on your own. Yeah? And now, understanding all that, we're going to try to elaborate the paragraph. Let's now make an essay out of the same topic and not a paragraph. Okay? This is, remember this? This is the main idea sentence of the paragraph. Remember? Our paragraph tadi ya. Okay, this one. Now, we're going to make an essay. All right? We're going to make an essay ya. Out of the same topic loh. Okay, so boleh nggak kita pakai si main idea sentence di paragraph eh, di sini, ya pakai aja. Tapi ingat, thesis statement is usually also very specific supaya kamu nggak lari sana lari sini. Karena kalau enggak ingat nggak tadi when you say the differences between American and British English, there are so many things, right? So many aspects where which do you want to focus on. So, batasi diri Anda sendiri by adding this. British English and American English are two distinct variations of the English language, which exhibit distinct differences in vocabulary, pronunciation, and spelling. Do you see the difference? Which is more specific? This one, the one in the box, or the one in this paragraph? Which is more specific? The one in the box or the one in the paragraph? The one in the paragraph. Because it states the variations, right? It states the variations which exhibit differences in vocab, pronunciation, and spelling. You got that? Okay. And then you talk about these variations have developed over time due to historical, cultural, geographical factors shaping the way. This is what we call here, remember, general statement. This was discussed also last week. So we make something about British English and uh, American English. All right? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Kemudian, okay, so let's just read it together. These variations have developed over time due to historical, cultural, and geographical factors shaping the way English is spoken and written on both sides of the Atlantic. Understanding these differences is crucial. Crucial itu bisa diganti dengan apa? Important. But because you're intermediate, because you're advanced, you use the word crucial. Okay? Okay. For effective communication and for navigating the linguistic nuances between the two variants. Look at the academic sophisticated words. Menavigasi. Sebetulnya itu directing ya. But you use that. Navigating the linguistic nuances between the two variants. Okay. Terus, in this essay, we will explore, nah kan udah lihat thesaurus kan? Oh ya, udah pakai. The divergences in vocabulary, pronunciation, and spelling between American and British English. Highlighting how these, ini baru lagi, discrepancies. What is discrepancies? Ya differences, balik lagi. You get the idea ya? Okay? So your vocabulary is very rich. And I'm sure you know. Karena bahasa Inggris itu vocabnya kaya, sebetulnya kalian gak akan punya masalah nulis gitu loh. Gak akan kehabisan kata-kata. Kalau di bahasa Indonesia iya. Makanya muter-muter. Alright? Okay. So, highlighting how these discrepancies reflect the unique linguistic identities. Coba deh, bisa nggak ganti ini dengan the basic word? May? Show. Show. Ya. show, mau bahasa kan mau harganya biar nggak 10.000 ya, 15.000 deh. Jadi reflect the unique linguistic identities of each variant and contribute to their rich linguistic tapestry. You know what a tapestry is? Anyaman. Okay? As well as the impact on British and English speakers using English. Nah, this is what we say, this is your thesis. So we're going to talk about the differences, right? Coba deh baca lagi. Okay, in this essay, we will explore the divergences, ya kan? Berarti differences in vocab, pronunciation, and spelling between British and American English. Okay, highlighting, ya, emphasizing, yang kita highlight adalah how these discrepancies, how the divergences, how the differences show, reflect the unique linguistic identities dari masing-masing. And as well as di sini nih, the impact. Jadi ada dua hal, the difference and the impact. Okay, you got that? This becomes your controlling idea. Berarti apapun yang kalian tulis ya ke sini dalam ranah ini. Okay? Okay. Let's go next. So, I'm reminding you there is the word impact, right? Saya pakai yang dari paragraf tadi ya. One noticeable difference lies in vocabulary. Itu kan? Terus kan kita ngomong tadi elevator and lift. Itu kan? Just copy paste that. Right? Copy paste this. You may want you just add another one. Another example is the word boot to refer to the trunk of a car used by the British, while in American English it is called the trunk. Okay? Similarly, in British English, people use the term rubbish for garbage, whereas Americans use the word trash. Jangan lupa, katanya mau kasih impact-nya. Ya taruhlah impact-nya di situ. Vocabulary variations can sometimes lead to confusion or misunderstandings between British and American English speakers. Okay? When somebody says, "Oh, just put it in the just put it, oh, that's rubbish. Just put it in the bin." What bin? Itu kan? Maksudnya itu can. So usually we use trash bin or trash can. So sometimes it causes misunderstanding and sometimes we don't really understand what they want. That is the impact. Okay? Nah, paragraf 1 ini. Kan vocabulary udah, this is the thesis statement ya. Jangan lupa ya. This is the thesis, right? Okay. We did a paragraph on vocab already, done. Yang tadi. And now we need to do a body paragraph on, what's the next one? Pronunciation. Right? Ya udah. Another distinction lies in pronunciation. Mau pakai yang tadi, kalimat yang tadi dari paragraph? Silahkan. Pronunciation also sets the two versions apart. Terserah. You want to come up with another one? Karena udah pakai itu ya udah. Itu kan tadi kita udah latihan bikin paragraph. Now we're making an essay out of those paragraphs, right? American terus masuk American English. Ini tadi kan juga we already talk about this, right? Yeah, but we Added, in contrast, British English speakers often drop or soften the R, making it less prominent, less important. Okay, kan ada prominent people. Coba deh lihat deh. Okay, in the TV kalau lagi ada uh, what is that? Summit di mana itu prominent figures. Itu artinya VVIPs important. Alright. This difference impact. Tambah kalimatnya, ada impactnya. Karena tadi di paragraph kita nggak ngomong impact ya. Now we put the impact. So this difference in pronunciation can sometimes cause difficulties for non-native English speakers in understanding spoken English in different contexts. Ya kan? Sama aja sebetulnya sama yang tadi, cuman parafrase. Kalian harus berlatih bikin 5 kalimat eh, artinya sama gitu loh. But using different sets of words and grammar. Oke? Ya, dan balik lagi ke topik sentence. Kan kita bicara tadi the difference in vocabulary udah. The difference in pronunciation sudah. Now, the third one is the difference in spelling plus the impact. Oke? Bikinlah. Mau copy paste dari yang tadi karena kita sudah bikin silahkan. But then you need to, ini apa tadi? Transitional marker gitu kan? To give the example of apa sih yang spelling yang difference itu apa? For instance, bisa diganti tadi kan? For example, such as, okay, in British English, the word center is spelled with R-E, while in American English it's spelled E-R. Similarly, British English uses the spelling color with an O for the word color and analyze. Yeah, look at this with an S for British English. With American English, usually the S is a Z. Jangan lupa impactnya. These spelling variations can be a source of confusion, particularly when writing or reading text from the other variant. Okay? Done. So how many paragraphs do we have already now? This is the intro tadi ya. Remember? This is the introductory paragraph, right? And then we have already elaborated into the second paragraph, right? We have elaborated to the third paragraph, and we have also made the fourth paragraph. Done? Finish. Did Nemo forget something? You know, this is Nemo, right? Which one is Nemo and which one is Dora? Anyway. Huh? Dory ya? Okay. Si Dory yang mana? This one is Nemo, right? Okay, so did Nemo forget something? Oh, you know how Dory always forgets Nemo's name, right? Nino, Nemo, Nomi. So, did you forget something? 4 paragraphs. Did you forget something? An essay has what at the end? Conclusion. Okay. Right. In conclusion, the British and American English share a common foundation. They have developed their own distinct characteristics over time. Tadi kan di paragraf pertamanya diceritakan. Vocabulary, pronunciation, spelling all contribute to the variations observed between the two variants. Despite these differences and occasional difficulties, tadi ada impactnya ya, occasional can sometimes create confusion, sometimes create misunderstanding. All right, occasional. That's why we put the word occasional here, not all the time. Yeah, occasional difficulties or misunderstanding. Speakers of British and American English can generally understand each other with little difficulty. And communication between the two variants is usually smooth. Selesai? Selesai. Easy? You're still smiling. I don't know what the smile means. It just means that you're happy, okay? No, no, no. But I'm trying to make it, I'm trying to simplify it, okay? And how do I do that? Lihat paragraph dulu deh, okay? From the paragraph, then you extract that, right? You develop it into essay. That's what it is. Another important factor is, of course, itu organization, yeah, outlining. It starts with outlining, right? It starts with researching and then narrowing it down. And then after you narrow it down, you need to make an outline. You need to develop your thesis statement, control. Kalau enggak, kalian bingung. Saya mau yang mana dari sebanyak ini. If you look at this, remember I gave you, sorry, I gave you this one. Yeah. Oops, not yet. Remember? Kan tadi kalau kita Google, dapatnya banyak loh, sebanyak ini. Right? Are you going to write an essay? Like all about all this? Or are you going to narrow it down? You want to narrow it down? Okay, I think the how many hundreds of words biasanya your professor will ask you 500 words, 750 words, 600 words, 1000 words gitu. Nah, then you need to think, all right? So narrowing it down means from this you narrow it down, and when you narrow it down, it means how do you narrow it down? By making, okay, a thesis statement. And of course, the first paragraph of an essay is not just one statement. There must be a general statement about it, and then this is the thesis statement. The thesis statement, kalau mau gampang, put it at the end of the paragraph. Biar nggak pusing. Okay? Okay. Yeah? Right. Now, introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, closing or concluding paragraph. All right? Okay. I'm going to skip this. And I'm just going to go here, right? It's time for question and answer. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to stop here just in case you have some comments, you have some questions and answer. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Those of you who are here in at America, those of you who are online, any question and answer? Sorry, any questions? Any comments? Me? Yes, we have two. Yeah, can you halunya? Mike? Okay, go ahead. Your name is?
Hello, my name is Ulfa. Um, So I want to start because you said that we have to use different sets of words and also increase our vocabulary. Do you have some books recommendation for writing essay to increase our vocabulary?
Uh, I mentioned read. You need to read, okay? Just read. And because you're going to go into academic writing, that means you read academic stuff, okay? Ya, karena sofa agak susah ya kalau if you just list of vocab tuh ada yang list of academic vocabulary gitu itu ada. You akses aja banyak. But the problem is you don't know the context gitu kan. Kalau cuma tahu kata-kata 100 dihafalkan, but you don't know the context, agak susah juga. So that means you need to read a lot, right? Nah, kayak gini nih, you baca essay seperti ini atau teks seperti ini, then you get the idea. Oh, ini difference ya. And then if divergence itu apa sih? Then you look it up, right? In the dictionary. Oh, ternyata dia sama dengan difference. Oh, berarti itu synonym. Then you check. Okay, Sofa. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cal. I would like to ask, so one of the steps is researching on the topic, right?
Mhm.
On IELTS writing, we're given a topic and then we don't have access to internet, right?
IELTS?
Yeah,
You're talking about the assessment IELTS?
yeah, in IELTS writing.
IELTS assessment is different. In IELTS writing, you have two pieces of writing that you have to do. One is based on a graph, usually a graph or any sort of a diagram. Bisa tadi tuh kayak mind map seperti itu, bisa grafik, bisa table. Pokoknya data, right? The first type of uh, IELTS writing. The second is your opinion.
So how do we tackle if the topic given are something that we are not really familiar with because we cannot research and we can only depends on what we know, right?
Mm, for the assessment, they're not going to give you some kind of a topic that is not, it's in the blue moon. No. Makanya biasanya bentuknya graphs kan. Jadi kalau graphs itu udah ada data. All you need to do is present the data. Datanya ada di situ loh. You need to present. Yang diujikan kan bukan your knowledge of the topic. Yang diuji adalah the way you write. Ya kan? Gitu. IBT juga sama. IBT will not give you, IBT itu yang pertama is based on an integrated skill, listening and then reading gitu ya. Dan semua informasi ada di situ. Walaupun mereka bicara mengenai dinosaurus misalnya, ya tetap it's based on what you hear and based on what you read. That's the first IBT. Dua-duanya IELTS and IBT have two writing from. The second IBT yang sekarang berubah mulai Julai 2023. Berbeda sedikit dari 2022. I'm going to discuss that, insert that later di sesi keempat. Ya, supaya kita fokusnya supaya ke organization and all. Does that answer your question? Sir?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I have other questions. So,
Sure.
is there any kind of ideal calculation, like how many times the word can be repeated? Because I noticed that in the paragraph there are still some repeated words, like similarly or in contrast, I think in the first
Mm-hmm.
paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any kind of standard how many times can a word be repeated ideally?
No.
No. Thank
Right.
you.
Once or twice, I think 2 times, 3 times, nggak bisa enggak ya nggak apa-apa ya. Nah, as long as it's not over and over again more than like 3 times gitu loh, more than 2 times. Sometimes writers kalau udah block nggak tahu lagi ya dia repeat. Tapi mungkin repetitionnya jangan the first sentence and the second sentence. You get it? Dimainin sedikit. The first sentence comes with the same word and then the fourth sentence keluar lagi difference gitu. Tapi yang the second and third kalau mau ada difference, you already make a paraphrase, right? Tapi tidak ada standar, ya. Oke. Okay. Any questions from that side of the room? No. From here? No. From Zoom? May.
Okay, Bu. This is actually a question from previous session. She asked, it's from Justina. She
Mm-hmm.
asked, since an IELTS has limited words and there are some ideas that come, can a paragraph consist of two main ideas?
No. A paragraph only has one main idea. That's why it's a paragraph. Okay. You cannot have, yeah, that's why it's a paragraph. A paragraph only has one main idea. Berarti kalau you mau bikin beberapa, then means you have to make like every paragraph has a main idea. Ya seperti ini aja gitu, right? And IELTS, both IBT and IELTS itu banyak ditanya, pasti akan ditanya your point of view loh, your opinion. Okay. Right. We're going to see how this fits later on, yeah, in an assessment, in a standardized assessment. But the reason we bring this is because the reason we brought academic writing and not go directly to IELTS writing, IBT writing, gitu loh. Kenapa? Karena nanti kalau sudah sampai di IELTS writing sama IBT writing, balik lagi mundurnya ke sini. You get it? Then I have to like explain, loh enggak kan kamu kalau nulis tuh begini loh. You understand? So I have to go back again. So instead of me going back, instead of ujungnya adalah, yes, with this ujungnya bisa kemana-mana. It can be academic writing in general when you're in college. It can be when when you have to do your standardized assessment, yaitu the IELTS and the IBT, itu kan ya. But this knowledge will give you the principle of not just passing a test. Remember that once you pass the test, you get into the university, you have to get out. Jangan stuck because you're having a lot of problems with writing. Oke. Nanti udah masuk bahagia, nggak keluar-keluar gitu loh. And usually, and the most challenging task is writing. For Indonesian students, number one, we do not write. Gimana dari TK, SD, SMP, SMA tidak menulis? Ya gimana? How many essays do you make in high school? Right? Terus gimana Bu supaya kita tahu vocab? Ya baca. Ya baca juga enggak. Ya bagaimana? This is a big jump. I know. Right? But this is what it takes. Okay? So now the reading udah ada ya, banyak banget. Ada National Geographic, ada segala macam on the internet. Read with pleasure gitu. Okay? So this will give you, this academic writing is the principle, the basic, so that you will survive. Number one, it will help you pass, of course, your IELTS or your IBT. Number two, it's going to make you survive the 4 years if you're taking a bachelor's degree, okay, in a universities abroad. 2 years if you're taking your master's degree, okay, postgraduate, what have you. This is just the basic that will help you. All right. Okay. So I hope that's clear. Yeah. Yep. Is that all? No, none other. Okay. So we will continue next week, right? Next week, of course, we will continue with making sentences. Uh-huh. Okay. We'll continue with reminding you types of sentences, simple sentences, compound sentences, and all that. Okay. And we've gone through the questions. And so, if you want to join session 3, the academic writing workshop will then be conducted at the same time, right? May, on Saturday, June 17th, same time. Yeah, same place. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much to Ibu Hafil, our lovely facilitator, for today's very informative session. And earlier in this event, we asked the audience a question, if you remember. And the question was, which of the following is not a type of academic writing? And the correct answer to that is C, fictional. Shout out to today's lucky one at Tika underscore Shanti from Instagram for answering correctly. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in our social media quiz. Don't forget to tune next time and catch the change to get a live shout out from us. You can also develop more brilliant ideas with a platform like this by simply visiting our website at www.atmerica.org.id, and you can submit your event ideas and we will make it for you. And as we're going to have another session next week, so make sure you stay updated with the upcoming events by follow our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at AT America. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, AT America. With that, it is time to say farewell. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Hasna. See you on the next At America event. Bye bye, everybody.